Hello everyone and welcome to this week's online card class. My name is Rachel Trout, and if you have not joined me before, I go live every Thursday at 12 o'clock Arizona time to share a free card class with you. So anyone can watch, and I hope my cards today inspire you. If you do want the card kit for today's cards, all you need to do is place an order with me this week now through Tuesday. And if your order is more than $40, I will send you the card kit for free. And if you spend more than $50, I will double the cards, so you'll get enough to make 2 of each. And you'll see me once I get started. I have everything sorted into envelopes, and that is exactly how your card kit will come too. So if you are interested in that, I will have a shopping link in the description of the video once I'm done here, and you can use that to shop. Today we are going to be using the Seaside Wishes Bundle, and this is a really fun one. I'm not sure if you have ever used one of our hybrid embossing folders before, but this bundle includes one. So we have this beautiful stamp set with starfish, sand dollars, you've got this little sand texture, some rocks, and I love the fonts and these sentiments. Then you've got this embossing folder, and like I said, it is a hybrid embossing folder. So what that means is that there is a die that fits inside the embossing folder so that you can die cut and emboss at the same time. So that is really cool, and I'm going to show you how to do that today. Let me show you the dies. So this large die will fit inside the embossing folder, but you can also use it separately to cut out these 2 sand dollars. You've got the starfish that will cut out the images in the stamp set, and then you've got some seagrass pieces in different sizes and these coral type pieces that you can cut out too. So this is a really fun bundle. All of our Stampin' Die bundles are on sale this month, including this one, for 10% off the bundle price. So the bundle price is already 10% off, and then this month you get an additional 10% off that price. So it's a great time to buy your Stampin' Die bundles, and especially this one is a great value with that hybrid embossing folder. Okay, here is our first card for today. This one was inspired by a card I saw from demonstrator Tammy Hewlett. She's a former artisan design team member, and her card was just gorgeous. So I kind of simplified her design for today, but I loved her color palette, and actually I carried that color palette through all 3 of the cards today, so I think you're really going to love them. So like I said, if you place an order with me this week, now through Tuesday, to get the card kit, this is how your card kit will come. You will get each card sorted into envelopes, and the pieces you see here are exactly what you will receive in your card kit. So you will need your own bundle. So if you don't have it yet, you can add that to your order. And of course, use your own inks and adhesives. I don't send ribbon or embellishments because that makes the packages a little bit bulky, but you can use whatever ribbon and embellishments you want. Today, I will be using our basic beige bordered ribbon and our iridescent pearls. As I shared this morning, the flat adhesive back pearls also coordinate great with this suite. So I have here a Coastal Cabana card base, 5.5 by 8.5, and I folded that in half. Then I have a piece of Pretty Peacock that is 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. And I have a piece of basic white that's 4 by 5 1/4. Now this one I've embossed with our So Swirly embossing folder. This is one of our new ones, and it is one of the humongous ones. So for a size comparison, this is the regular size of this hybrid one. It's about twice as big as that. So you can stick a couple pieces of cardstock in and emboss at the same time. You could do a larger piece for like a scrapbook page. Lots of options with these big ones. So that is really neat. And I don't think with this one it matters too much which side you use, but I am just going to adhere mine flat to the Pretty Peacock. And it's just a very narrow border here. And then before I attach it to my card, I'm going to take a piece of the basic beige bordered ribbon, And I'm just going to cut it a little bit wider than that piece right there. Kind of center it, but maybe a little above the center. And then I'm just going to put a little bit of adhesive to lay it down here. And then we'll attach this piece to the card base. Make sure my ribbon's pretty straight. It looks like it is. And so then again, you just have a very narrow border of that card base. Like that. Okay, next we are going to do some stamping. So I have a very thin piece of basic beige here. This one is 5/8 by 4. And I'm going to use the sentiment in the stamp set that says, "You absolutely made my day," along with Early Espresso ink. And we will just stamp that in the center. All right. And then we're going to use our basic beige ink. And we're going to stamp the two sand dollars. So let me see here. I think it's this piece and this piece. So I am going to die cut these. I have found that to waste the least amount of paper, it works best to cut smaller pieces that are kind of cut to size for the sand dollars, and then die cut one at a time, which I will show you here. So these stamps, my basic beige ink pad is really juicy, so I probably need to take some ink off. But it's meant to have some different texturing on those sand dollars. So if your basic beige ink pad is inky too, just lightly tap your stamp on there, and you will get some different texture that is meant to be there. But you can kind of tell sometimes if you have too much ink on your stamp, some of that will be covered up and it'll look more like a solid blob, which is not what you want. So if that happens, you can always flip your paper over and try again. All right, and then I have Melon Mambo ink for my starfish. And I have a piece of white for that also. I've just mounted them both on the same block. And we'll stamp those there. Okay, now we need to die cut everything, and I actually brought both of my die cutting machines over today. We're going to use the big one for this because that large die for the sand dollars will not fit in the small machine. So this is going to take up a lot of the camera, and you'll kind of be able to see. But I'm going to die cut all of my pieces, and let's see, maybe I'll move this in here so you can kind of see how I line this up. All right, let's get out that sand dollar die first. So the reason I recommend doing one at a time is because depending on the size of your paper, it is going to overlap a little bit, and it's easier to just see what you're doing if you do one at a time. So the larger sand dollar is a little tricky to figure out. It does have some longer edges, and you just kind of have to play around with it and look at it to get it lined up correctly. And you don't want to see a white edge around. That's when you know that you have it lined up. You'll get a white edge when you die cut, but you don't want to see it when you put the die on top. So we'll run that through. And there we've got our large sand dollar. Now I'm going to push this back through so you can see me line up the smaller one. So there's 3 sizes on the die, but only 2 sizes in the stamp set. But you can still create 3 sand dollars with the embossing folder and the die cut, which I think is really fun. All right, we'll run this one through. Hopefully that'll stay where I want it. I think it's time to switch to new cutting plates because mine is getting very warped. Okay. right, we've got our second sand dollar here. So now I'm going to grab my starfish dies. Push this back through so you can see. So there's a larger one and a smaller one. The smaller one is a little bit harder to tell which leg of the starfish is which, but again, just move it around until you get it so that there's not a white edge. And then the larger one of the legs has this little bend in it, so that one is pretty easy to figure out. And now we will send this one through. So I think I said this, but both of our die cutting machines are on sale for 10% off this month also. So if you do not yet own one, now is a great time to purchase it because they rarely go on sale. And it is a heftier purchase, so a sale is a good time to get one. All right, I'm going to move my dies back so that I don't lose them. And let's get all our pieces here again. Okay, so I'm going to start with my sentiment, and that part I am going to pop up with a few dimensionals. See if I can get it without getting the backings all over the place. And I'm just going to lay that kind of halfway on top of the ribbon, like that. Oh, Lisa, you got your Happy Mail. Awesome. I'm mostly caught up on Happy Mail. I have to send this week's yet, but I'm glad yours arrived. So the Happy Mail that Lisa is talking about, every Saturday I do a Share It Saturday post, and you can share a project you've been working on, and I draw winners on Monday to get a free card in the mail from me. And then I also started a few weeks ago doing the cards from my card classes, and I will send those out to people who comment, like, or share the video from today. And I usually pick those, well, I haven't picked last week's yet, so I'm a bit behind. I pick them sometime the beginning of the next week, so, and send you the card. So if you would like one of today's cards in the mail, make sure you comment, like, or share the video. And please tell me if you share it, though. Facebook does not always tell me. Okay, so this piece is cut out of Pretty Peacock cardstock, and I used one of the dies. You could use some of our adhesive sheets on the back. That is probably the best case scenario. I always forget to use them until I already have a die cut. So I'm using dots of glue here, and we'll try not to make a huge mess. And I'm just going to tuck that up here. And then we have our starfish. These starfish are so pretty because the stamp set has some of that texture and shading in it naturally, which is kind of cool. And then the little one, and I've already got glue all over my fingers. And that's exactly why I don't use the green glue that often, but sometimes it's necessary. Okay, I think we've got all of our pieces down. So now we are just going to finish off with some of our iridescent pearls. So you could also use some of the flat adhesive backed pearls. Those are more of a pearl shape that you would find in a clamshell. Either one would work. I decided to use the iridescent pearls today, and so I'm going to put a few of the larger ones in the centers of my sand dollars. I think those fit there perfectly. And then we'll just add a few others around here, like that. And there's our first card. I love, love, love this color combination. So again, I kind of copied this card from Tammy Hewlett. I simplified hers a little bit, but this color combination is just gorgeous, I think. So there's our first card. Okay, moving on to the second card. I kind of wanted to stick with the same color combo. So I am going to turn on my Do Not Disturb now, because that was a group text message, so I'm sure more are going to be coming through. Okay, sorry about that. Here we go. I think I moved my camera a little bit too. Okay, so this one we are going to have a basic beige card base. This is one of our new colors this year. It's not an in color, but it is a new neutral that Stampin' Up! Added to our color line, and I love it. And I think it's perfect for the sand dollars too. So I have a basic beige card base that's 5.5 by 8.5, and I folded that in half. Now this one, I just used the hybrid embossing folder by itself, so just like a regular embossing folder. So this is another piece of basic beige that is 5.25 by 4. And we are just going to adhere that to our card base. Now you can also use this if you are covering up a lot of the front and you are just seeing the edges. It's kind of like a little water splatter or sand. And I have seen some projects with that too, which is really fun. Okay, next I have a piece of Pretty Peacock, and this one is 3/4 by 4. And we're going to do a little stamping in Pretty Peacock ink. And we're going to use this little stamp from the stamp set. It kind of reminds me of sand, but I thought I would use it in this case to just add a little bit of interest or texture to our card. And you know what? I meant to bring my cleaning cloth in here, but I didn't. So I'm going to use this paper so I don't get ink all over when I go off the edge. I was pre-recording a video yesterday and I forgot to bring the cleaning cloth in then too, so I have some more to record this afternoon and I will have to remember to grab it. Okay, so there's our Pretty Peacock piece. And then this is from our Brights Designer Series paper stack, and this is the Melon Mambo piece. And this one is 1/2 inch by 3 3/4. So I'm just going to layer those on my card, and before I do, I'm going to cut the ends at an angle. You could just leave them straight if you want. I thought I would jazz it up a little bit and make some angles. Move those pieces out of the way here. Okay, I'm going to do the Pretty Peacock piece first. Kind of right in the middle. And then we'll do the Melon Mambo piece. Like that. I guess I went off the other way on that card, so either way. Then I'm going to cut a little piece of my basic beige ribbon. And I just kind of folded it back and forth once. Oops. And I like to lay down just a little bit of Stampin' Seal across the middle where I'm going to have the ribbon. That helps hold it down a little bit more. And then we will put our sentiment over the top, and that'll finish holding it down. So I have a little basic white rectangle. This one I cut with the Deckled Rectangles dies. There's deckled rectangles and deckled circles. And I don't know, for some reason, it seems to go with the beachy sand theme to me. So I used them on some of my other cards this week too. So I'm stamping in Pretty Peacock ink. Your friendship is the best gift. The sentiments in this stamp set are really unique too. I like that. So we're going to put the sentiment on with dimensionals over that ribbon. And I want to make sure I get enough on here. Since we're going on top of the ribbon, we want to make sure that it is nice and secure. So I probably wouldn't put this many dimensionals on a piece this size normally. But because we're going over the ribbon, I'm going to. Okay, so you can kind of futz with your ribbon and get it how you want. And then we'll put our sentiment on. So the cool thing about this ribbon is you can kind of pull apart the edges too and get more of that frayed look. So I'm going to show you one from my card club where I did that on purpose. This one started to do it on accident. I think I'm going to move this ribbon up a little bit carefully. At least the ribbon won't tear like paper does when you try to move it. Okay, let's see here. All right, I'm going to move that up just a tad. And then we'll stick this back over. There, that's a little more centered, so I like that. Okay, and then we'll bring back in our pearls. And I'm just going to add some of these to finish off the card. And these are so tiny, I feel like I need to add more than I sometimes do. Odd numbers are good, so a lot of times I do 3 embellishments. But these are so tiny, I felt like 5 on all my cards today. So there is our second card. Very pretty, right? Okay, moving on to our last card today. So this one, I'm going to show you how we use that hybrid embossing folder with the die and embossing at the same time. So let's get all of our pieces out. So for this one, we have a thick basic white card base, 5.5 by 8.5, folded in half. And then this one I've used our Country Woods Designer Series paper. This is the Designer Series paper I used in my card club, and I'll show you those cards at the end. It features this bundle also, but I really like these wood grains, and the different colors just kind of make me think of old beechwood, and I don't know, just seems to fit well with this bundle. So this piece of Country Woods Designer Series paper is 3 3/4 by 5, and then I have a pretty peacock mat underneath that is 3 7/8 by 5 1/8. For this one, we're going to wrap the basic beige ribbon around and tie in a knot. And you could do a bow if you wanted to, but I just did a knot in this case. So we'll bring that around, and you want to make sure you do this step before you adhere this part to your card base. Having a little trouble because my fingers are sticky from that glue, but that's okay. All right, and then we can trim the ends. Like that. Okay, so now this piece can get attached to our card base. Like this. All right, and then I have a little piece of the coral that I've cut with Melon Mambo and the dies, and I've also cut some pretty peacock seagrass. There's 3 different sizes, and then I have a piece of white here, and I'm going to show you how to use the hybrid embossing folder. So let's move this stuff out of the way, and we'll bring back in our die cutting machine. And I definitely want to make sure that you are able to see this time what I'm doing. So let me move things out of the way a little bit. Okay, there we go. That's the part you want to see. So when you are using one of our hybrid embossing folders, you want just your base right here. You can tell I keep this where my kids are because there's a nice little sticker on there. And then we have our hybrid embossing folder. We'll grab that die. Now on one side, you'll be able to stick it in the embossing folder. So it's the side with the Stampin' Up on it. And it just kind of nests in there. And you'll be able to tell that it's in the right spot because it just kind of fits in. Of course, it's going to move if you drop it or you're not holding it. But it does kind of fit and nudge up against the embossing folder. So I'm doing the largest one for this. So I'm going to put that over, fold my embossing folder up. Okay, so now it's going to die cut and emboss at the same time. And since we have an embossing folder here, let's see where I put this. You're going to want your gray plate that goes over the embossing folders. So that's your sandwich, just the bottom base and that gray one on the top. Go through and then let me show you the magic. Move this back out of the way. Hi, Joan. I'm glad you can join us today. We are on the last card, so make sure you go back and watch the first two. Okay, so look at this. Emboss and die cut at the same time. We have a few other hybrid embossing folders, but I just think they are so cool. Very unique. Okay, let's layer everything on. So our pretty peacock seagrass, I'm going to use my glue again. So everybody say a little prayer that I don't get it all over the place. These pieces are at least a little bigger, so I can't make such a big mess, right? And I'm just going to kind of glue these back here. It can be tucked under the ribbon a little. There we go. Then we'll do the middle-sized one. Like that. And then our smallest one. Over there. Okay, next I'm going to lay down my sand dollar, and that's big enough I don't have to use the glue, so I'm not going to. And this one I did kind of tuck under the ribbon. You can decide how low you want it to go. I want that grass to peek out, and then I'm going to use my glue again for the little coral piece. This is coral, right? I looked up pictures of coral, and they look kind of like this. I didn't spend too long looking, but I don't know, maybe this has another name. Maybe I'm calling it the wrong thing. Okay, and then this I just kind of tucked over here. I'll hold that down a minute so it sticks. Trying to put the lid on my glue over here with one hand. Okay. And then for this one, we're going to use this sentiment. Sometimes the simplest things mean the most. And I've cut this out of basic beige with our Spotlight on Nature dies. And let's see, I use my pretty peacock ink again. Oops. Which I hid off to the side when I moved it to do the embossing. So we'll stamp that. Make sure I got enough ink on there. There we go. And then the sentiment I am going to pop up with dimensionals. Like that. All right. Okay, and then I'm just going to put it off to the side so that sand dollar peeks out, and you could lay it out ahead of time and arrange it how you want, so that you can see the amount of sand dollar that you're looking for. Okay, and then we're going to finish off with a few of our pearls again. And again, these are tiny, so I thought 5 was better than 3 this time. But you can do however many you want. Could go crazy. Put one on there, one down there, and there we go. So that is our third card this week. All right, let's bring them all back in. Which one was your favorite this week? I really came to love this color palette, and that's why I decided to stick with it on all 3 cards. So remember, if you would like the card kit this week, place an order now through Tuesday. And as long as your order is over $40, you'll get the card kit. If you spend more than $50, I will double the cards. So I'll give you supplies to make 2 of each. Okay, so that's a lot of fun. The shopping link will be in the description. And then if you would like me to send you one of these cards, comment, like, or share the video, and I will draw winners for the 3 cards early next week. You like all of them, Joan. That is a good answer. I like all of them too. It's hard to choose. So good job. That's a good answer. Okay, I promised I would show you my card club cards. So I used the Seaside Wishes Bundle this month for my card club. And I shared the sneak peek a couple days ago. And I will be sharing it later this afternoon also. But my card club I run every month, and you get supplies to make 8 cards. So 2 of each of these designs. And the card club is like a card kit that's delivered straight to your mailbox, but it includes more product than just my weekly card class ones. So the card club will include a half package of the Country Woods Designer Series paper, It includes a whole package of the flat adhesive back pearls and then a whole roll of the basic beige ribbon. So if you really liked today's cards, or if you like these, my recommendation is to place an order and get the things you want, get the card kit from today, and then you can subscribe to the club and have even more options for your cards. Now, I didn't double check before I came live today. I believe the Seaside Wishes stamp set may have gone out of stock, but it's expected back in like next week. So it'll be back in. The stamp sets usually come back in pretty quickly. So hopefully it'll come in before the deadline for the card kit. But if not, one of the perks of belonging to my club is that you can add on the bundle or the stamps that I use that month at the catalog cost, and I cover the tax and shipping on that as a perk of belonging to the club. So if you're not able to get the card kit from today, then you can add the bundle onto your card club kit and get a little discount that way too. And this month, like I said, this bundle is on sale, which is awesome. So you get all the card pieces cut. The only things I don't cut ahead of time is like I give you the piece for the sand dollar so you can stamp and die cut it yourself. In this case, I would give you a piece of cardstock to die cut this because you have the bundle to do that. But like the deckled rectangle, I would cut ahead of time for you. Or these circles in the background, I would cut ahead of time. Anything that's a part of the Seaside Wishes bundle, you'll do yourself, but I give you the cardstock. So hopefully that makes sense. The club is $44 a month, and you can join or cancel anytime. But for every 6 consecutive months that you subscribe, I send you a fun little gift package to thank you for being a loyal subscriber. So if you want to try it out, I will put a link in the description, and it's just a sign up link to like register, and then I will send you the subscribe link separately in your email because Stampin' Up doesn't allow me to post that publicly. So if you're interested, you can check that out. The deadline for the card club is the 20th. Okay, and then I brought along some swap cards to show you. Now, if you watched my swap card video a while ago, you've seen these already, but I thought I would pull out the Seaside Wishes once again to share with you. So this one is really pretty because it features the new in colors. And look, she put them on the basic white, the strips of designer series paper, and then embossed. So you can see those in the background, which I think is cute. That one is from Denise Waddle. So that's really pretty. Kind of a different color scheme for the sand dollars. This one is so pretty. Look at that. This is a specialty paper, and that really fits well with the sand dollars. And I think these are from the Thoughtful Wishes bundle. So very, very pretty. And I think this is Linda Cullen. I had taken that one out. Okay, this one is a fun fold. I believe this one was Amy Rich. Yep, this is my team leader. And she loves fun folds. How fun is that? She used the Country Woods Designer Series paper also. This one uses a lot of the different dies and layering pieces, and she stamped that little sand speckle. I love this one. Becky Edson. And then the last swap card I got, so this one, she die cut and embossed the sand dollars in white, and then just put them over the sand dollar pieces with this crumb cake embossed piece, which is really cool too. That one is Dina Lenneman. So lots and lots of samples. I hope you enjoyed the other cards that I've shared with this bundle this week. It is really a pretty one, I think, and perfect for summer. Okay, let me see here. I think I'm going to flip the camera around for just a second. Let me set that there. I did not do my makeup or anything today, but I will show you my face for just a second. Here we go. Okay, so I just wanted to share that the next 3 weeks of videos are going to be pre-recorded. My husband is in charge of running the Vacation Bible School at our church, and I am helping him quite a bit. So one of the weeks we are very busy doing that, and then we are also doing one of our vacations coming up. And so I am trying very hard to get everything done and ready ahead of time before that. So the next 3 weeks will be pre-recorded. They will still post at 12 o'clock noon Arizona time. And I would love for you to still comment and interact even though I will not be live. So please come back and watch those. I have some really great cards planned. I've already recorded one of the videos, and I have another one that I'm going to do right after this. And then hopefully that third one will get done, because today is actually the last day that I am able to record them. So watch for those. And then because of that, and because I'm so busy and will be gone part of that time, there will not be card kits for the next 2 weeks. I have another fun surprise for you. So you can still get a card kit this week. I'll be able to cut them and send them next week. But the next 2 weeks I will not be cutting card kits. So watch out for that fun surprise. And then the third week when it's recorded, I will be offering a card kit again that week. So I will see you live again in quite a while. But thank you for watching and supporting my business, and I hope you loved today's cards. See you later. Bye.